Today it's why you should buy second-hand guitars and what to look out for when you do so. I'm going to try to save you some money. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. You can call me this guy if my name is tricky to pronounce. Today it's second-hand guitars and I'm going to be using two guitars as an example. So first, why you should buy second-hand guitars and then what to look out for. So the first reason to buy second-hand guitars is, well, they're cheaper. Instantly when you get a new guitar, you get it home, the price of that guitar, the resale value of it, it plummets. Now we're not talking vintage guitars here, that's a whole different ballgame. But yes, as a general rule, the price of second-hand guitars, you could say that it's dropped by a third. So take off 33% or something like that. That's one rule that I've heard. That will vary, of course. But yes, second-hand guitars can save you a lot of money. The second one is infancy issues. I have here a Harley Benton Super Strat, which is very affordable, which I bought new. And these days, when I buy guitars to review on the channel, when I get them, I let them sit around for a month or so. At least a good 2 weeks, because things can start to happen. And with this one, things didn't actually start to happen. They started happening a bit later. So I got this guitar, I set it up, and it was fine, I reviewed it. And since then, it's really started developing some issues. First one. Hear that buzz? I checked with the fret rocker and what you know, one of the frets is sticking up a bit, which makes it buzz. And at one point I remember having 8 budget-friendly guitars here and 6 of them having that issue. The second issue this one has is that it has a bit of fret sprout. It didn't have that when I bought it. So that's not good. But these are what I call infancy issues with guitars because they're made of wood. But if the wood hasn't dried out properly, then it will dry out and then you will get these kinds of issues. And these are fixable. I mean, the fret sprout, it's no big deal. But if you're a beginner, maybe you don't want to start fixing fret sprouts. The fret popping out can be a bigger deal, at least a bit more costly. But this hasn't had the kind of thing where the neck warps, because if it warps, it's useless. You can light a fire with it. If you buy a second-hand guitar, these issues have either never happened or they've been fixed. Or then you will notice them when you try the guitar. So if I set this aside and get this. This is an Earth Stratocaster, which costs $269 if I remember correctly. And I had to spend €100 to get this fixed. Because this also had the issue of frets sticking out. It was actually, I think it was 3 different frets, so the frets had to be filed down and I had to pay €100 to get that done. And that's annoying. But now I have a brilliant guitar. So whoever buys this will have the... Actually, I might donate this, but anyway. If someone were to buy this, they could pay, let's say, 2/3 of what this costs originally and get a guitar that's been fixed and will never probably have those issues again because now the wood is dried out and everything is like, it's settled. And what they will get is a brilliant guitar. So that's really why you should buy second-hand guitars, because it can really save you a lot of hassle. But still there might be potential pitfalls when buying a guitar, a second-hand one. At this point I am going to say, however, that I'm not talking about higher-end guitars or vintage guitars. Vintage guitars are a totally different thing, but higher end guitars as well. What I'm talking about is more affordable guitars that no one would be faking, because if you're buying a Les Paul, an old Les Paul or a Strat, those could be fakes. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about slightly more affordable guitars that can still have issues. So kind of the things that you would look for are things that you would look for in any guitar, and I have a video of that here, with the addition of a couple of things. The first one, regardless of whatever guitar you're buying, or actually whatever piece of guitar related gear you're buying, try before you buy. Always try before you buy. Even then, you can't be 100% sure that what you'll you're getting is something that you'll have for the rest of your life. But at least you'll increase the chances of it being good. Always try before you buy. Now, when buying a second-hand piece of gear, it's increasingly important to see if the seller is reliable. Now, a lot of these online places, marketplaces like eBay, for instance, most of them have some sort of rating system for the seller and how reliable that seller is. Check that percentage, or however they measure it. So on eBay, for instance, if someone has an approval rating below 80%, or sorry, below 90%, you're taking a bit of a risk there. Also, take a look at the number of sales or purchases on eBay that the person has made and see, are there a lot of those? If the person has never done anything on eBay and is now selling a $500 or euro guitar, maybe you should not buy from that person. Or if he or she has sold 2 items, one has been a guitar pick, and one has been, I don't know, a used CD, and the third one is suddenly a €500 guitar. I'm not saying this is. Be careful. But if it's someone who's sold a couple of hundred things, items, or 100 bought, sold, and has a mostly positive rating, then it's fine. You always get people who are dissatisfied on occasion that will leave a negative review. And in relation to this, can you return it if it's online? And this ties back with try before you buy. So if you're buying in person, go to the person who's selling the guitar, you try it. You make sure you try it and take a good look. Don't let the person pressure you into buying anything right away. So let's say you're checking out a Strat. For some of these apply for all guitars, but you check no dead notes all over the neck. To that, check for fret sprout, see how it is in tune, or does it stay in tune. If you do this, for instance, okay, so this isn't 100% in tune, but if you do this, and what happens is this might be a bit iffy. And a good thing, if you don't know a lot about guitars, bring someone along who knows a bit more. But with online sales places, can you send the guitar back in case you're not satisfied? It can save you so much bother. I personally have 2 guitars here that I'm not sure I want to sell because it would kind of go against my, I don't know, something, morality, ethics, that I think I'm just gonna donate. But apart from these things, it's the regular type of stuff that you would try, check out on a new guitar as well. But the main thing is try before you buy. One last thing that I would want to say is that there is no such thing as a good brand, or no such thing as a horrible brand. If it's an actual kind of brand, even if it's something like Earth. Every manufacturer makes guitars, and guitars are made of wood, like I said, and they can have quality issues. What they do have differences in is the materials used, how meticulous their production is, and especially quality control. So there will be differences there. But on the whole, there are not huge differences. Every guitar is an individual. That's why you need to try before you buy. So if you're buying an Ibanez, whatever, you can just as well get a bum Ibanez as a bum Harley Benson. That's just the way it is. Yes, there are differences probably in percentages. How many percent of Ibanezes are good compared to some other brand, maybe. And that will change over time as well. So stop worrying about brands and worry more about the actual guitar itself. If you want to check out some alternatives, there are 2 videos here with some great cheap guitars. Maybe you'll find one secondhand. Other than that, I hope you check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description. You get access to my music, a bunch of exclusives, and all my lessons. You can even take that stuff for free. And a huge thank you to everyone who already supports me there. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Take care. See you. Bye.